What's going on, guys? It's James The Yorkshire Modeller back with you again. Finally back with another build. So yes, guys, it's been a while. It's been over a year since I did the last build. As you can see, F40 up here, done. Bismarck over here, done. Spitfire is down on the floor just there. On its base, I've got to get some new shelves, and I'm going to be getting some proper garage racking that's quite thick, so that'll go on there nicely. If you watched the last channel update, you'll know that the reason I stopped building the models on camera was because of college work and degrees and all that kind of thing. I've got through the first year now. I've managed to get some more time to be able to do my college stuff and to be able to do this now. I'm kind of budgeting my time a little bit better. Now I know what I'm getting myself into next year. So that is a whole different scenario, a whole different story. But back with a relaunch of the channel. You've noticed the new channel intro. I've got something else I'm popping into this video as well once I tell you what the build actually is. But this build, it's one I've been waiting on doing a while. If you watched the build announcement video the other day, you will know that, you probably know what it is already anyway, but it's a model I've been interested in so long, for so long. It's a historical ship that means a lot to me, actually, weirdly. So, the new build for the relaunched Yorkshire Modeller is... Now, the first thing I'm going to do before we show you any of the magazine, before I show you any of the actual parts that we get with the issue, is a little bit of history about the Titanic itself and also about this build. The RMS Titanic was a Royal Mail steamer owned and operated by the White Star Line in the earliest years of the 20th century. She was built in Belfast at the Harland and Wolff shipyards, with some of their gantries still being visible today. The Titanic's keel was laid down on the 31st of March 1909, and she was completed 3 years to the day later, on the 31st of March 1912. Her sea trial started 2 days later, just 8 days before the start of her maiden voyage. On Wednesday the 10th of April 1912, at 12 noon, the Titanic left Southampton. Firstly she sailed to Cherbourg in France, and then Queenstown, now Cove, in the Republic of Ireland, before sailing into the open ocean of the North Atlantic. However, at 11:40 p.m. ship's time on Sunday the 14th of April, the Titanic struck an iceberg, piercing her hull on her starboard, or right-hand side. The holes created by the collision allowed the ice-cold water from the Atlantic to stream into 5 of the Titanic's watertight compartments. The Titanic began to sink by the bow, and 2 hours and 40 minutes later, at 2:20 a.m. on Monday the 15th of April, the Titanic sank. Of the over 2,200 passengers and crew aboard, over 1,500 people died during the sinking. To this day, the Titanic remains the deadliest peacetime cruise ship sinking. For many years, people thought that the Titanic had sank in one piece and was lost at the bottom of the Atlantic. But on September the 1st, 1985, Professor Robert Ballard and his team discovered the wreck, proving that the largest ship in the world when she was built had split into 2 pieces as she sank. The model of Titanic that we're going to be building is over 134 centimetres long, 14.5 centimetres wide and 22.5 centimetres tall, made in 1 to 200th scale. The parts of the model are made in wood, metal and plastic, and when completed, she will have working interior lights, smoke effect for her stacks, motorised running effect and rotating propellers. I can't wait to build the model of the ship that I have been fascinated with for over 25 years, and this model is done in memory of the more than 1,500 lives lost in the tragedy. So yeah, music in the background there was Nearer My God to Thee, which is obviously the song that was played at the end of Titanic, the film, when the ship was sinking and the band went down playing and all of that. And like I say, this build is in memory of the people that died. Just to give you an idea on how mad on the Titanic I actually am, I've had this since 1996. This is the first computer game I ever owned, and it's still got both the discs in. Disc 1, it's going to break, and disc 2. I love this game. I'd love to be able to play it again, but I've not got a computer that can play it now. The game is too old for the computer to play. But it's a fantastic game. If you ever get a chance, I think you can download it online, so I'll have a look at that. But if you ever get a chance to play that game, do it. It's amazing. So, let's get started with the build for issue 1 of the Titanic from Hachette. So, with issue 1, what we actually get, the magazine it's really detailed. It looks amazing. It really does. So the tragedy itself, talking about the tragedy, the picture of the iceberg that's just been in that little bit of history I did is supposed to be the iceberg that actually sank the Titanic. Someone someone said that they saw a scuff of red paint along the edge of it, so it indicates it would probably be the Titanic from the red that was actually below the waterline. But yeah, we've got here showing you where the ship went, to Southampton to Cherbourg to Queenstown Cove, and then straight across, and April 15th, 1912, she sank. Edward Smith, the captain, on his last journey across the Atlantic on Titanic. This was released by White Star Publicity, just to give people an idea on how big the Titanic actually was. So bigger than the pyramids, bigger than the Vatican. Yep, St. Peter's Church, bigger than some of the buildings in New York and Washington. It was just to give people an idea on the size of the ship itself. Golden Age of ocean liners. Again, it's just a bit of history. And then we are on to the build itself. Now, the first parts we get is how do you say this? Is it Forcastle or Forcastle? I've always wondered that. Is it Forcastle or is it Forcastle? I'm going to say Forcastle because that's how I've always said it. You get the Forcastle deck there. You get a wooden veneer to go over the top. You get an anchor. You get other kind of glue on and all those kind of bits. Now, the good thing with this is you don't necessarily need to use glue. This model I was having a look through it earlier on, and it's kind of they've done it kind of as a beginner's model, like a starter. If you want to get like a really big model, but you don't have to do too much kind of gluing and things like that. That's one problem I had with the Bismarck is the glue. If you've not got glue in the right place, it goes everywhere. So they've tried to make this more like a push fit thing. So there are some bits that will need gluing, like the hatch, but generally it's a push fit connection. So the wooden deck has self-adhesive on the back. Again, I've got an issue with that, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute. And then you just push the bits on. Like I say, the only bit that actually needs gluing is the hatch itself. And then you push in just a few of these little steam valves, things like that, and then that gives you your final finish down here. So, I've got all the parts laid out as normal. I'll show you the deck, the issue I've got, and then we will start the build for issue 1. So with issue 1, you get the deck, the actual plastic bit underneath, and then you get the wooden veneer that goes on the top. Now, I've had a bit of a problem with mine. So, I was watching, I think it was John Build's Iconic Military Models, and he glues this on with PVA, which is exactly what I've done, because you do get a better finish. However, what is left on the very edge, down here, you can see the holes don't fully line up, and I have had to, on both sides, I've had to kind of re-drill the holes. So I am reordering another issue 1 from Hachette, and I'm going to redo this. So this build, this is how you do it, but obviously take into account that the parts have been drilled out again. I am still going to PVA it on because you do get a much better finish. It is much smoother, and it's going to stay on better than just a normal self-adhesive tack. But I'm not going to weigh it down. I think there was a problem. I weighed it down too much, so I had like a proper weight on it, and I think it just pushed the wood out. So I'm going to redo it, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Like I say, I should have it done quite quickly. So once you have adhered your deck on, you just peel the paper back, stick it on, and then just push it down. Step 2 of the instructions are take the anchor 1C, which is this little tweezers. There we go. So the anchor 1C, this one just here. 3 winches 1D. So your 3 winches are these ones just here, look like that. And the 2 air vents F and G. So F is this one, looks a bit like that, and G is like the Monopoly house, like that one. Ooh, well, I can get it right in camera shot. There you go. Identify the fixing points on the wide end of the forecastle deck. Forcastle, forecastle, whatever. I'm going to keep going between the two, I think. Ensure they are correctly orientated as shown. These are push-fit connections and no glue is needed. So all we do is we're going to go one by one. So when you're looking at your forecastle deck there, those two holes just in there is where the anchor needs to go. So that is that is a push-fit, and the actual anchor end has to go in the lower of those two holes. So it has to go about there. Just line those up. Push fit that in. That will look like that. And then you just slowly work your way around. So 2 of these winches will go into those 2 holes there and those 2 holes just there. So those 2 and those 2. And one hole is slightly bigger than the other, so it gives you an idea on which way around to put these in. That's one. And that is number 2. So that's those 2 in, just there. And then the third one will go in those 2 holes just there. It looks like it does go in the other way around as well. There we go, and that's pushed in just like that. So that's those winches done. Take the air vents 1F and 1G. Excuse me. So 1F is going to be. Yep. So 1F and 1G will go in these 2 holes here and here. So 1F will go in this one, 1G will go in that one. So 1F in there, and 1G in there. Now, obviously, because there is only one pin that holds these on, you can turn them, but to get the orientation right, that's what they'll look like when they're in. So that's that bit done. That's all those. So part 3. The next parts to be fitted are the 6 bits or ballards, 1H, and the small skylight 1E. Identify the fixing points around the sides of the forecastle deck and push the parts in place. If they are a tight fit, use a fine file or sandpaper to make the pegs smaller. Again, no glue is needed. So E is that one, so that's the small skylight, and that one is going to go into those 2 holes just there. And again, this one, I think the pegs are the same size, so it doesn't matter which way around you push that. So that goes in like that. And then these 6 bits, these ones here, will go into all the holes around the edge. So let me check and see where they need to go. So it'll be those, get this in the right position, those 2 holes where my finger is there, then those 2 holes there, then those 2 holes just there, and then it'll be exactly the same on the other side. So, and again with these ones, they've got one larger peg, one smaller peg. So when they're all on, it will look like that. So that's that, and so that's the finished part for step 3. Step 4, take the ventilation duct eye. Now with this one, I will just show you, ventilation duct, I have put a little bit of black paint just in the end of it, just so it makes it look like it's actually hollow. And there's another modification, paint modification, that I've done in a minute that I will show you as well. I will be doing this on the other deck, the other forecastle deck when that comes. So this, let's have a look. Take the ventilation duct and fit it on the deck between the central winch and the aft port ballard, which is going to be, so it's actually where you've got your front ballard just here. You've then got two. Let me get that a bit closer. You've got those two little holes there. It's the second one back, so it's that one, or forward, should I say, not back. It's the more forward of those two holes that should just push into. That should be alright, actually. There we go. So that's in there, just like that. Take the two breakwaters, 1J and 1K, they are fitted diagonally on the deck. Note that they slope downwards towards the outer edge of the deck and the ribs face the aft. So if I push that one in like that there, push that in, that's clipped in like that one. So you can see the ribs there are facing aft, and we've got it all positioned in the right place. And then we just do the same thing with the other side. And again, these do slope downwards towards the edge of the model. So that'll sit like that. I have got some super glue, because this next bit you do need to glue the hatch down. So what I have done with the hatch as well is I have painted around the edge of it with some gunmetal. Now, the gunmetal paint that I've used is this one. It's Tamiya X10. So you can see it just there. Now, I've done that on a couple of other bits as well, which I'll come to in a second. But what we need to do is identify the fixing points for the hatch 1L. In front of the breakwaters. Check the fit and then use a cocktail stick or similar to apply a little super glue to the sockets. And the pictures are obviously in the instructions. Fit the hatch in place as shown. Now, when you're fixing the hatch, what you want, where you've got this little lip here, so that little lip, you want that lip facing forward, so towards the point of the bow. So you've basically got it looking like that when it's on. If you do it the other way, it will still fit, but then those holes that are there in front of it, you can just see the four lined up. If I pull that out, there's another two that it'll be hiding, so you want to get it the right way around. So what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of super glue, I have a cocktail stick, I'm just going to put a dab of glue all the way around the rim of this. Like that. And that just glues on there, just like that. So you can see it there as well. So that's that bit done as well. So that's the hatch glued in place and the breakwater as well. Now, this is a bit where I've done a little bit of modification. So, take the steam valves, there's 5 supplied but 1 spare, and fit them to the 4 holes in front of the hatch. They're the 4 holes that I've just mentioned, with the 2 that would have been hidden if we'd have put the hatch in the wrong way round. They're a tight fit. If they're a tight fit, sand the pegs down with sandpaper or a fine file. The 4 capstans, N8, are fitted as shown near the 4 outward bits. These are push fit connections and no glue is needed. So for these, I've actually painted them. So in the model as we get it, it is just white plastic. On the Titanic itself, they weren't even painted white. So what I've done for the capstans, is it the capstans? Yeah, capstans, you can see here, I've painted it gunmetal, and then I've painted the top with some Balthazar gold from Citadel Paints, because I also do wargaming as well. So I've got a couple of those. I've done the same on the steam valves as well, because they would have been very similar. So we've got the steam valves just here. I'll just show you one of these. I've only painted down like as far as I need to. So you can see there, the metal bit itself is painted. The stem underneath that's going to be underneath the deck, that's just going to be kept the same. So these get pushed into those 4 holes that you can see just here, right in front of the hatch. Let's push those in one at a time. Now, I have painted all 5 of these, just in case I had any issues. But, so far, they seem to be okay. Just take your time with them. That third one that I've just done there was a very tight fit. That one's gone in all right. So that's those all attached there. And then we've got the 4 bits to go in as well. So the capstans, sorry. So these capstans will go into those 2 holes. Sorry for the scraping. They'll go into those 2 holes there and there. And they'll go into those 2 holes just there and just there as well. And these, again, are just push-fit connections. These are kind of like, what kind of shape would you say those are? They've got like a weird tip on them on the underside. That's pushed in there. That's that one. That's that one. That's that one. And last one is in there, like that. So that is basically how it all looks at the end of issue 1. So I like this model. This one's going to be good. So yeah, that is just the Forcastle deck, however you want to word it. It's nice relief on there. It looks good. Actually, I'm going to buy another one because they are on the Hachette website again. So I'm going to buy another issue 1, and I'm going to redo that. But I'm going to PVA it down. But I'm not going to put a lot of weight on it. I'm just going to basically sit it down and then press the glue out from all sides, and then hopefully that won't cause that same issue. Because if you can see there, the deck itself is coming a bit far away, and where we've got a set of holes like here, the deck's really thin. You can actually see it through there. If I hold my hand like that, you can kind of see it. But yeah, that is issue 1 done. That is going to get put on my shelf. With issue 2. We get the first hull sections and screws to fix them together. So we're going to get a bit of an idea on how big this is going to be at the front end. So I like it. Right, guys. Been a long time since I've said this. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to The Yorkshire Modeller for more weekly model builder geekiness, and we are going back to weekly videos again. This is going to be the first build of a new, obviously I'm going to try and do this new series now with the Titanic. It is going to be weekly. We're just going to have 1 build to begin with, just until I get through college and all that. And then I might, dependent on how things go with Titanic, I might decide to do another model. I know Agora are bringing out loads of really good models now, like the Jag as a tank that they're doing as well. There's a few different models that I really want to build, but I'm going to focus on this one. We're going to get this one done, and then we'll go forward from there. So, until next time, guys, happy modelling, and it feels so nice to say this at the end of a video again, stay safe. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe. You can click on the link on the left for this model's playlist. You can click on the link on the right for the YouTube recommends, or you can click on the link in the centre to subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller. I'll see you next time, guys.